Thank you. Hi. I think I have 3 questions. Have you studied anybody comatose and anybody schizophrenic? And my 3rd question is, does anybody come away from your brain training who doesn't feel anything?
Okay. Those are all good questions. I, of course, can't necessarily speak to dealing with schizophrenia or dealing with coma because I'm not a medical doctor, but I can tell you instead about people who trained their brain and one happened to be in a coma. Her name is Mary. She had twins. She was 44, PhD in anthropology and French, I think. Speaks and writes in 3 languages, or wrote in 3 languages, and had, what's the name of it, preeclampsia, following the twins, had aneurysm on both sides of her brain. They didn't know it. She had just gone home. They gave her some meds. So they got up the next day, and her head, she couldn't, wake her. Her head was swollen. They rushed her to the hospital, and what they found was that she had had an aneurysm. They called the family. They went up there the next day. Her sister had just 2 weeks before graduated from our school, like Keen did. And so they, of course, advised that they shouldn't, they should just make her comfortable because they thought she would be a vegetable. And instead, the family decided to do the craniotomy and stop the bleed. They did that. They still persisted for the next couple of weeks in saying that she would just be a vegetable. There was way too much damage. Her sister then called me and asked me if we could look at her brain, and I said, I have no clue, And so she then had the hospital allow her to come in and do an assessment on her. And how are you going to do an assessment on somebody in a coma, right? Because part of the assessment whole process is first minute, eyes closed, relaxed. Second minute, eyes partially open to get a transition. Third minute, eyes open, and guess what you're going to do? You're going to ask them to do a task. I said, okay, here's what you do. Do the first minute. Say, Mary, I know you've already got your eyes closed. I want you to think about having your eyes closed. I want you to just relax. Second minute, Mary, I know you got your eyes closed, but I'm going to open mine part way for you, and then you pick that up. And third minute, Mary, I want you to open your eyes. I know you can't, so I'm going to have my eyes open. And Mary, I'm going to do the task for you. So I want you to repeat these numbers after me. 9, 6, 7, 8, 4, 11, 7. 9, 6, 7, 8, 4, 11, 7, and so on. And when I looked at that map that she emailed me one afternoon, I remember calling her on her cell phone and screaming, saying, Ann, Mary's at home. And she said, what? She said, wow, look. And I said, look. So every time remember the graph I just showed you? Every lobe of the brain was at home. She picked every one of them up. So Ann then went in, and Ann's 4'11", about 90 pounds, but about 8 foot tall and about 600 pounds in terms of, and she told the doctor to never ever say again unless he wanted to put up with her cadre of attorneys pulling the plug in front of her sister. And she proceeded to train her sister in the hospital in a coma. And 6 weeks later, she came out of the coma, and 3 weeks after that, she was speaking. And 3 weeks after that, she was speaking in 2 languages. And today she's home, and she's a year, 2 years, roughly 2 years later, she's starting to take care of the kids. But I don't know about all the ethical implications of that work. I don't know. And I say that because she's had lots and lots of surgeries. A coma breaks down many things in your body, and it's a very complicated issue.